Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the second part of our discussion with Shouvik Dhar on founders and funders with the Chennai Angels. So I'm Chandu Nair, part of the Chennai Angels, and with me is Shouvik Dhar of Zomoz, the key founder and happy entrepreneur. So we've talked about a lot about your past life, how you got your co-founders, your interest in momos as a child. Now, what we're going to do here on is to understand a little bit about the nuts and bolts of the business. So you talked about, for example, the fact that momos, except for one brand, is essentially unorganized. Now, therefore, if you look at Zomos, and today you have expanded in terms of the kinds of products you're making, the range of channels you're using, what exactly to you does Zomos represent as a brand?
So for us, our ultimate end goal, say in 5 to 6 years from now, would be to ensure that Zomos becomes the go-to snack brand anywhere in India. Love is a very important aspect in this particular thing, because we've realized that we have to make good food and have to standardize making good food. Anybody has a plate of momos in Hyderabad and gets the same feeling if he or she has the plate of momos in, say, a small town like Raipur or Nagpur, where we are present now. So to ensure that pan India we become the most loved snack brand is what our goal is for the brand.
Why do you say snack? Because Indians are people who kind of nibble, gulp, swallow, right through the day in different ways. And when you say snack, do you mean you're competing with the likes of, say, a puchka or a golgappa or a pani puri type of thing? Or are you competing with a vada or a bonda in, say, South India? What exactly are you competing with when you say snack?
The reason I mentioned snacks was because Indians, on an average, have about 2.7, in fact, that's the exact number, times more snacks than meals. And the consumption, the volumes are huge in snacks. And as you mentioned, the golgappas, pani puris, all of these things are considered snacks. So all of them are substitutes. We are in fact substitutes for all of these products with the products that we are going to come up in Zomos. So as far as the QSR channel is considered, so we see the business in different channels. The QSR channel is where we have our own retail outlets and cloud kitchens operating Zomos as a brand. There we do certain things to kind of give meals around the momos and dumplings that we have. But as far as other channels, for example, FMCG as a channel, where we are not present at all, we are planning to go there as a brand that uh, gives out good quality snacks at reasonable prices. We had recently patented a product, a microwavable momo that you can, that retains moisture while microwaving. That's something we feel is going to change the way consumers consume this particular product, especially in this category. And innovations like these is what we think is going to help us propel the brand through this particular channel, FMCG and D2C, where we have not been there at all, where our market leader Wamomo is doing pretty well. Prasuma is the market leader in this particular channel. So we feel there are QSR is just one channel where we are going to have 12 to 12 kind of meal items and snacks. But then the real growth of the business should come through FMCG and D2C, where we see a lot of other products that in fact our own machine lines can produce, and they can double up as snack items that we can sell anywhere. So this is more or less the idea that we have scaling the business over the next 5 years.
So that means a major reset from your QSR-led kiosk restaurant outlet-based distribution of your momos. to FMCG product D2C, perhaps even B2B, which is like even going to the Horeca segment. I recollect you
Correct, sir.
talking about it being a white label product for many restaurants who today are becoming, in some fashion, system integrators, putting together products that they outsource from different vendors, but serving it to the customer, like
Yes.
McCain's in fries, for example. So, if you were to talk about unit economics, therefore, and because you already have investors, including somebody like Rebel Foods, who's also in the food business, and one or two others like ourselves and other investors. When you were talking to them, first let's before I get into unit economics, when you talked to them, what drew them to you to say, look, this business has legs, this business will grow, and what was the way that you and the investors looked at the business?
In fact, the other D2C and FMCG channel is something that we have not worked in. So whatever we discuss with our investors was on the basis of what we had done in QSR. And we have been doing QSR for quite some time now. We have made a lot of mistakes and learned from them and finalized a particular model for QSRs. So the first thing that I um, you know pitched in front of my investors was the fact that we had standardized and automated the processes, which very few players at that point in time had. We, in fact, were the first and the only 100% automated momo making facility in the country. Of course, the market leader Wow Momo also had started it later on. Prasuma has also done it. But then we did it first. And because of that, the kind of R&D that we had put in to develop a product out of those machines is actually putting us a couple of years ahead of the other players. In fact, the margins are also a lot better with respect to manufacturing than somebody like there are other players who still do partly automated, partly handmade products. So that margin profile is much better with respect to automating the products. So automation became our strongest moat at that point in time. We had applied for patents as well on the particular machine parts that we kind of innovated on. Now, after that, it was a function of opening outlets and then getting result from each of these outlets. Any investor would always be very particular about how much ROI that investment is generating. So gone are the days where we could just push in, put money in the company and then just go for growth and forget about unit economics. So those days are all over. Right now, I have to tell the investor, if you give me 1 rupee, I'm going to utilize that 1 rupee in these places, and this is how I will get that return. So essentially, what we are doing right now is our model is in with respect to QSR. It has been tuned to such a way. We tell investors we generally put 9 lakhs in capex in an outlet, about 3 lakhs in refundable deposit, and 2 lakhs for the initial losses that the outlet will incur. And then using that money, I'm going to generate about 5 to 6 lakhs monthly sale after the fifth month onwards. So essentially, what I tell the investor is if you invest 1 CR in the business, I'm going to be able to open about 7 outlets from that 1 CR. And I'm going to generate at least 5 lakhs a month from these 7 outlets, 35 lakhs a month, which essentially leads to about 4.2 CR in ARR. So 1 lakh, 1 CR invested in the business is going to result in 4.2 CR additional ARR in the business. So that is how I break it down to the investor, and any investor actually understands that logic. So investors ask me, okay, this is the money that you have that we are putting in each outlet. What are the paybacks like? How do you kind of recoup that money? So all these things are absolutely essential for us to kind of put it in front of the investor. And in fact, it is not only for the investor, for us as well. We don't want to be stuck in a business that actually doesn't return money. And this is the worst phase to be in, where we kind of just run after raising money and then we don't know where the money is going at the end of the day. When the money supply stops, then the business closes down. This is not what we wanted to build. And we were particular about that from the first day onwards, where we realized that saving cash and then utilizing cash in the best way is the way to grow this business.
Now, I'm going to, because we have had almost an hour's conversation, I'm going to end this, T20 style with a rapid fire round. And,
Oh,
you can give us your responses very, very quickly. So
sure.
let's take your product itself, the Momo. What do you like, steamed or fried?
Steamed momos.
One city you want Zomoz to dominate next after Hyderabad.
Bangalore.
What mistake every food founder makes? The critical mistake.
Um, that would be thinking that a great product can make a great business.
Okay. Now, CAC or customer retention, what matters more and why?
Customer retention matters any day, hands down. Ours is a very low margin, low AOV, and high volume product, high volume business. If we focus on CAC, we'll get the customer, but then if we don't focus on retention, the customer we get, we are going to lose. So we have to, it's retention all the way.
Okay. Momos with mayo, yes, yuck or labao.
People are going to hate me for that, but no mayo with momos, without mayo.
Here in Chennai, we might say, ayo, you should give mayo. Then IPO or acquisition for, I always get your company, Prabhati, right?
Yes, yes.
Prabhati is the name of the company. IPO or acquisition for Prabhati?
I would say acquisition at this point in time, although we are not thinking about it, but acquisition is what we feel is more probable. But then we are going to grow the company either way.
Okay. If you were to describe Zomoz in 5 years from now, what would be that one word?
Loved.
Great. I think with that, I think I also love this conversation. It's been extremely interesting for me, though I have had some kind of a ringside view of what you have been doing. Thank you so much, Shouvik, for walking us through all these aspects around Zomos. And we didn't realize that, around the Momo, there are so many things wrapped around and inside. And, thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts and your ambitions with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone who's watching, this is what Founders and Funders is all about. We talk about real founders with real businesses, talking about real skills, real challenges, and how they're solving them. Don't forget to follow the Chennai Angels for more such episodes. Until next time, bye bye, ciao, and have a Momo till we meet the next time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.